Welcome back, my friends, to another unsolicited and uneducated football analysis by your friend David Valentin. Before starting, I just want to say that I send my deepest condolences to Rodrigo Schlegel and his family. Unfortunately, today we found out that Rodrigo's dad, unfortunately, has passed. May his memory be of a blessing to all who loved him. Um, the reason why Rodrigo was not at the game against Red Bulls was because he had to go to Argentina on an emergency family trip, as it was called. Now we know the truth of the reason for it. Rodrigo's a young man in his 20s to lose his dad at that age. I can't imagine. I'll be 45 years old this year, and my father, fortunately, is still around. So I still have my dad with me, so I can imagine the pain and the suffering of losing a dad in an important part of one's life. As a man, you always look up to your father. Um, my dad lost his father, my grandfather, at the age of 27, and I know how deeply that affected him. Unfortunately, last year, my father in law passed as well. So, um, my condolences to him. I know how important he was for Rodrigo. His dad, he mentioned him often. His family is a very large family, tight knit group. And if there's any consolation for all this, his father got to see his son play out in one of the greatest games personally I have seen in world football, such an oddity, and to come out a hero that I don't think any fan of this club will ever forget. At least Rodrigo will have that happy memory going back to Argentina, meeting his dad after such an event. So, with that said, I hope that he finds strength and is surrounded by love and the people that care about him, and he returns back to us very soon. With that said, now we are going to catch up with what Orlando City has been doing. Orlando City returns after the break to league play this Saturday 19th. It's going to be here in Orlando. It's going to be an away game. If you have not been informed, Canadian teams have been playing games in the States. Vancouver has been doing so in Salt Lake City, Montreal in Miami, and Orlando has been the home for Toronto FC. Canadian rules apply, so there's not going to be any fans in the stadium. It's going to be weird to be the away team in your own stadium and without fans, even though the only thing that is stopping them from coming is the fact that you're not hosting, quote unquote, the game. It's an important week for Orlando City. Orlando City will be playing after that. They will be hosting San Jose on Tuesday. San Jose obviously is going to be coming cross country. Western foe is the second and last team from the West that we're going to be facing this season. It's going to be a complicated event, in my opinion, because we also are going to be playing Friday against Inter Miami. So, what do? You have a game on Saturday that you have to win. It's Toronto right now is in very bad shape. I feel that we can get 3 points from them this Saturday. So you get the 3 points. On Tuesday, if you lose or you tie, it's not a big deal because it's a Western foe that not necessarily affects your positioning on the table. And then Friday, you are going away to Fort Lauderdale to a rivalry game, a game that is important to get a result because, again, it's for pride. This one is special. This one is for all the marbles. My opinion is I put my faith, my trust on the games against Eastern foes. Why? Because if we lose on Tuesday, it affects us very little. So Tuesday is the day to try different things. Tuesday is the day to play the kids. I think it will balance itself out with the fact that San Jose is going to have to go through three time zones on a Tuesday. So it's going to be very difficult for them. We're at home, rested. Mind you, our away game was in Orlando. So that's the way you could look at it because you have to get a result on Friday. Or you could say, okay, we're going to get a result of these first two games and Friday, whatever. Personally, the rivalry with Miami, I can care less about it because that team has self destructed itself. Losing to them it brings nothing. Obviously, if we get results on Tuesday and Saturday, I will stomach a defeat there. But if we go and win all three games, then my friends, we can start talking about lifting silverware because it is a what can I say? It's a tough proposition. But I've seen Orlando City get results in weeks like this. The other teams that I follow internationally have managed to survive this brutal three-game per week sessions. So we will have to see what the river brings, as my grandmother will say. This week, Orlando City signed a new player, and that player is the defender Thomas Williams from Titusville, Florida. If you're not from this area, Titusville is a town in Brevard County on the coast. To the east of Orlando, about 40 minutes from here. So he's a young kid. People like Dennis Chin, the legendary Dennis Chin, great player from the USL era. A lot of people involved in the academy that know this kid, know his family, are very happy, very proud that this signing has taken place. The guy is 16 years old, almost 17, and already graduated high school a year early. And I'm told he is playing beyond his years. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that local kids are getting to fulfill their dreams by playing for the local club. And as someone who was an adult by the time MLS came into existence, there's no way 26 years ago that we would have dreamed of ever having a national league where players could develop in town and play for the team they've been cheering for years. So that's a great thing. Congratulations to Thomas and his family. I read a post on Facebook about his uncle talking about the sacrifices of getting off of school, his dad driving him to Orlando pretty much 5 days a week, going across the country, across the state for games and events and tournaments. So this is just basically a sacrifice the family has done for the greater good, and Thomas gets to live his dream. So let's hope we see the young man in purple at Exploria very soon. Um, Wilfredo Rivera was with the Puerto Rican national team. If you follow my channel and you speak Spanish, you know I already had a video about the Puerto Rico team. They did very well. 7-0 victory over Bahamas, 2-0 victory, or I'm sorry, 7-0, 2-0 for the folks that are the purist. Um, Over Guyana. Guyana came in as the Puerto Rico was the underdog against Guyana. Guyana came in with a team, an all-star team, players playing in first, second, and third division, first, second, third, and fourth division throughout Europe and North America, and Puerto Rico only had two MLS players. The rest were USL. One was third division, and Spain. The other one was first division in Bolivia, and they managed to get a result. And one of my favorite players in my English team, Stevenage, was playing for Guyana, and I gotta say that this guy is a heck of a defender, and this guy's made him look like he had two cement shoes, and Wilfredo um, uh, had two assists in these games. The first game against Bahamas, he only played 45 minutes. Daniel Rosario who happens to be from my hometown in Puerto Rico, Bayamon, Puerto Rico, who played with OCB last year, and he's part of the OC Orlando City Academy. Came in for him for the next 45. They did very well. Excited about these two young men. Definitely, I think with the schedule the way it is, we may see finally Wilfredo Rivera taking on the pitch after the performance that he had with Puerto Rico. He definitely has earned minutes on the pitch, in my opinion. Um, let's see what else. Pedro Galese is with Peru. Sebas Mendez is with Ecuador, which means that we are going to be seeing our backup goalkeeper, the young man that came on loan from Hotspurs, Tottenham Hotspurs, whose father is from the U.S. Virgin Islands, which basically makes him a dual national, American English. I don't know a lot about the guy. He has been on loan in Denmark. A lot of people are saying that he's very good, and I wrote a bunch of notes, but his name. So my apologies, because the only way that I have to find out is through the phone that I'm using to record. But you guys know me. This is I'm not a professional, so let me go ahead quickly and seek his name, because I guess he has earned the right to be mentioned. So Orlando City roster. Okay. And let's see here. This is amazing, isn't it? Okay. So Brandon Austin. My apologies. Brandon Austin is gonna be the goalkeeper this week. So it's gonna be a test. It's gonna be a huge test for the young man. And I hope he passed with flying colors. You gotta remember when we had Brian Rowe, which retired this past year. I felt that the quality dropped significantly. It's just Pedro Gales is just it's the octopus. Okay, it's his ability, his skill are so good that this is why to me is of high importance to have a goalkeeper within our ranks ready to take his place. Because the reality is I don't see Pedro if Orlando City lifts a trophy or Orlando City continues to be this good. I don't see Pedro staying in MLS if an offer from a higher league outside of the American continent comes in. Let's say Europe comes calling. You will be a fool not to take the offer, because this is the destination. This is where a lot of first division in Europe is where a lot of American players want to get to. And when I say American, I'm talking about the Americas as a whole. So it's something to think about. What are we gonna do in the future if Pedro Galese decides to move on with his career? So this week we are about to find out. Goalkeepers in Orlando, the backups or the impromptu goalkeepers like Rodrigo last year have always been protagonists of some of the greatest moments in Orlando City history. So I expect this week to be not different. I expect this week to give us great moments for us to enjoy. Mateo Zayas has been linked to two teams in Spain. So people are upset at the fact that he has not been able to get minutes. What I heard from good sources is that Oscar Pareja has given him the tools, had demanded a type of performance that he wants from him in order for him to be a starter, and it hasn't happened. Let's not forget, Mateo Zayas was playing second and third division in Spain, and I think we have outgrown as a league, as MLS, as a league, we have outgrown players of that caliber. We used to have players come from second and third division in other countries and basically dominate here, but the league has moved past that to the point where it has to be like for like. You're playing first division there, you're definitely gonna be playing in MLS. Therefore, I want to win. I want to win, and I am not gonna be crying over players. Nice guy. I follow him on social media, the whole shebang. But if he's not getting minutes on the pitch, he's wasting our time. He's wasting an international spot to ride the bench. And personally, I believe that in Oscar Pareja's judgment, and if Oscar Pareja is saying, "Hey, this guy it's not kosher," then it's time to move on. Wish him well in his career and move forward. It's that simple. Aside from that, so you know, guys know Inter Miami was fine. If you want to get a more in depth story about that, I have a video about it where I talk about that. Also, I want to mention something. There's a player that is a product of the Orlando City Academy. His name is Carlos Melendez. He is currently with the Central Florida Panthers. This is non-league with deep roots with Orlando City. Will Johnson is playing there. Tom Traxler is the manager, and Luis Neal is his assistant. Carlos, after graduating high school and the Orlando City Academy, played for the Daytona Beach State College for 2 years. Currently, he is with the University of North Florida, and currently he has gained the attention of the Puerto Rico national team thanks to a retweet that my podcastero de esquina retweeted. A recruiter contacted me, and I put him in contact with his parents. It happens to be that Carlos is the youngest son of a friend of mine, a brother from another mother, basically. His dad is also named Carlos Melendez. We serve in active duty in the same battle group, different ships though. We did not know each other then. We met in college here in Orlando, and we served together in the 14th Battalion of Navy Seabees, is the construction battalion. He currently lives in Nashville, and he's an Orlando City fan, of course. And I hope that Carlos finds his way back to Orlando City. Um, People that have seen him, that have been following his career, say that he's a very good goalkeeper. He was part of the Orlando City Academy that went to Brazil a couple of years back to play a tournament there. He has been very good. He's an American citizen, obviously born here in Orlando, in Apopka, and he was with Orlando City in the preseason. So definitely we need, like I said, we need to start looking at a permanent replacement, American citizens that can play at high quality. Carlos just had an incredible game. That's the reason why I retweeted, or my podcast account retweeted. The kid has been stopping PKs, 7 saves per game. I mean, he is having some monster performances, and it's time for our goalkeeper squadron, the backups, to start looking the part. Pedro Galese, like I said, fantastic goalkeeper, but we definitely need to start looking into the future to see that if he leaves, then we have a suitable replacement in-house that is not going to cost us a ton of money. The United States produces very good goalkeepers. Probably the best positioning on the pitch that the United States produces right now is definitely the goalkeepers. So food for thought. If his name comes up sometime in the future, then you heard that here first. And last, Orlando City lost against Red Bulls. I think it was a combination of creative rearrangement. We didn't have Nani. We did not have Rodrigo. That really hurt us, but now we know obviously the reason why he wasn't there. And the two goals that we conceded were basically, the first one was a mistake. I don't want to dwell too much into that. I know Mikey Holiday had his start. He sort of was complacent, left his man unmarked, and we pay the price for that. I don't put too much stock into that because the fact is that eventually you had to lose a game. And we just happened to lose that one. But we find ourselves at the very top of the table, not first place, but first four spaces in the table, and we are playing very good football. Now we have a full house. Nani returns to us this week. I think I hope our captain learns the lesson to stay the hell away from the referees and not touch them or not incite them to anything, because MLS tends to punish Orlando City severely. Every time there's a discrepancy, there's a red card, there's this, there's that. It looks like our players get punished, and other players for lesser offenses just doesn't even don't even get a card. So last, let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I think, Orlando Health just renewed its partnership with Orlando City. They're going to continue to be the main jersey sponsor for all the Orlando City teams. That includes OCB on its return. That includes the Academy, Pride, and obviously Orlando City. This time they are also going to be sponsoring the training facilities. They're going all in, and that's great news for the club. Definitely that money is well received. And the end of this month, the sale to the Will family will be completed, and they will have full control of the club. Which at this point, we're just waiting on the window to be open, the trade window, and if that happens, definitely we are expecting big things. A lot of people associated with Orlando City, past and present players, have said these people, they're coming with a checkbook and a pen in hand to do what it needs to be done, not only with the facilities, the stadium. There's a lot of good things that are happening, that are going to happen in the future. I hope so. Flavio Augusto da Silva did a fantastic job, but the reality is that money was an issue. We know this. That a lot of times we're doing a lot of things on a budget. And the last thing, Daryl Dike has returned to Orlando City. He was part of the team that, part of the roster, not part of the 18th man roster on game day with the United States team that played against Mexico, defeating them in the final of the Cup of Nations, CONCACAF, crowning themselves champion in this new tournament. He debuted with on a friendly with the national team against Costa Rica, scoring a goal. Had the opportunity of a second one, but it just did not happen. A lot of people are wondering what's going to happen with Daryl Dike. He's just saying right now, hey, it's just a lot of noise. I'm just here to play for Orlando City, score some goals. And you know what? This week is probably the best time for that. We definitely need this man to be on fire. We need people like Cash Mueller to just wake up. Chris, please get your scoring boots on. I think it's gonna be a different it's gonna be a different week than what we're used to. But like I said, I trust that the guys are going to be delivering beautiful football like they have so far. Well, the video is usually longer than what I'm used to, but so much has happened, and we definitely need to address that. Again, game at Toronto in Orlando on the 19th. On the 22nd, San Jose will be in Orlando, and on Friday we'll be going to Fort Lauderdale to face Inter Miami. I'm gonna try my best to be at the game versus San Jose. It's a work week. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna try to be there. So with that said, thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, vamos Orlando.